Hi, this is Eli Thompson from Business on the Real TV show and podcast, hosted right here on the Raven International TV network, with some good news that you can use. First, researchers from the University of Houston have succeeded in collaboration to develop a catch and kill air filter that can trap COVID-19 and instantly kill it in the process. Thank you for goodnewsnetwork.org. Next, we have a story about Mission Barbecue. They were recently at their Columbia, Maryland location with USO Representative Lisa Marie Riggins. They donated to that organization a check in the amount of $1,075,952 from the sale of their America's Heroes Cup. Thank you, Mission Barbecue, for serving your American veterans. And that story can be found on Fox News and Friends. Next, we have another story from the Good News Network regarding a 9-year-old Kenyan boy. Stephen Wamakota invented a hand-washing machine, a public hand-washing machine that can actually be used to help decrease the spread of COVID-19. It's made out of a bucket and some wood that his father actually wanted to use to frame a window. So this is good news that you can use to give your family hope and joy. Now back to our broadcast.
Hi, this is Faith James, CEO and founder of the Personal Branding Consultancy. And I wanted to take this opportunity first to say I'm so grateful to be participating in this mission, this movement, and that I wanted to be a source of inspiration, encouragement, hope for every single person in the world. So now in this time, we feel we're going through something we've never gone through before as a globe, as a nation, as a race, as humankind. And it's easy to let that overcome the entire sort of fabric of our being. It's easy to be overwhelmed. It's easy to feel distress. It's easy to feel fear. It's natural. It's understandable. But I want to awaken within you the truth of this knowing that all is well with you. All is well with you. All is well with you. And how can I say that? When you look with your natural eyes, you hear with your natural ears, and it sounds counter. It doesn't seem that that is truth. There is no veracity to my statement. But here's what I know, like I know, is the truth and the grounding and the core of everything in my soul, in my spirit, in my essence, my energy, is that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So I can make that statement because I am anchored in hope and truth. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. So that is a truth for you. Whether we understand that right now, whether we know how to sort of unpack that and break that down, doesn't make that statement any less true. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're a masterpiece. God says we were created just below the angels. And if you know anything about angels, angels have amazing powers. So just think, we have a deep reservoir of powers that we have not yet tapped into. In some instances, maybe we haven't needed to. Maybe in some instances, we didn't know it was there. But your superpowers have been imbued to you for such a time as this, where when you look out with your natural eyes, or when you look out and see all of the chaos, all of the fear, all of the dissonance that's happening right now in the world, you might feel the natural thing to do is to shrink into hopelessness, fear, doubt. But you have another reservoir that you can tap into to overcome. And that is your knowing that you have superpowers within. You have supernatural superpowers within that will allow you to declare, all is well with me. Even if right now you may not believe that to be true, I want you to just join me right now, and I want everybody to say this with me. All is well with me. All is well with me. All is well with me. See, what happens is you're making a declarative statement. You're not asking, you are telling. So as I like to say, be the CEO of you. You're the CEO of you in your life. And you get to set the tone, the culture for your organization, for your body, right? In this case, for your life. You set the tone with the truth and the knowing. All is well with me. Well, being a subjective, being a relative term, the definition, of course, becomes yours. But the expression of that phrase, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, before you even get out of bed, I'm going to encourage everyone, I'm going to challenge everyone, in fact, to do that. All is well with me. You wake up, all is well with me. You wake up and it's sunny and beautiful, all is well with me. You wake up and it's stormy, rainy, all is well with me. You wake up and it's freezing cold, all is well with me. All is well with you. Number one, you're still here. So that should be your first clue. You're still here on planet Earth. You're still here because you have things yet to do. I always say to my clients, please understand, you are not here to be born, work, pay bills, and die. That is not the master plan. You have great things yet to do. You're still here. All is well with you. I want you to think about a match. When you take a match and you strike a match, what happens? Right? The fire ignites. Think about if you had another match in close proximity to that lit match. What's going to happen? Spontaneously, that match is also going to come alight. You didn't have to do anything special to that other match other than what? Bring it close, come within proximity. So my challenge is this. I want you to alight yourself with this knowing that all is well with you. I want you to get into that knowing of your superpowers are there to support and serve you. They're waiting for you to unlock the key to that reservoir. So here's the challenge. 10 people, make a list. Friends, family, colleagues, clients, vendors, irrelevant. I want you to pick 10 people that you want to alight, to ignite this flame of knowing that all is well with them. And here's what you're going to do. You're just going to call, not text. Nothing against text because I love a good text. But I want you to call each person and say to them, hey, so-and-so, I'm just calling to say hi and to let you know that all is well with you. Do you know what that's going to do? When you make that declarative statement, when you say all is well with you, it's very different than when you call somebody and say, hey, so-and-so, I was just checking in to see, how are you doing? In that moment, you're not activating your superpowers. You're letting them tell you and set the course, and who knows what they're going to respond. But you're moving forward with a mission that says, I am going to alight with energy and love and joy and all the high frequency vibrations. 10 people by letting them know all is well with you. And how can all be well with you is because you're going to say it. You're declaring it because you know it's true. You're still here. You have work to do. There's still a purpose that needs to be fulfilled. And regardless of what's happening around us on the earth, that doesn't change your plan. So We're going to stay in a proactive stance. We're not going to be reactive to what's going on around us. My plan does not change because of the circumstances of the earth, of the world, your neighborhood, your community. Yes, we have to be responsive. Yes, we must be empathetic. Yes, we must be sensitive. But you have a plan and a purpose that you still are here to fulfill. The only way you're going to fulfill that in and amongst all this, the cacophony and the chaos and the dissonance, is by getting up every morning and declaring, all is well with me. I use this phrase when I work with my clients as well. Even though, nevertheless. Even though there's so much chaos in the world right now, nevertheless, I am going to be a source of light. Even though there's so much fear with this pandemic, nevertheless, I'm going to be a source of empathy and light. So you see, it's that even though, nevertheless. Even though, fill in the blank of what might be challenging for you in this moment, but nevertheless, and the sort of underpinning of that nevertheless is because you know you have those superpowers within you, right? Remember, fearfully, wonderfully made, just below the angels. I can't even quantify what that superpower quotient is. But suffice it to say, it's a lot and it's good and it needs to be used. It needs to be tapped into. As I said, you may not have had to use it. You may not even have known that it was there, but let me remind you of this knowing of this truth that you have it. And we all, I'm calling us all to use our superpowers for good. So are you going to join me in this challenge? I want you to set alight 10 people by picking up the phone and calling them and not asking how they're doing, not asking about the situation here. I want you to come with the force of your superpowers that says, I just wanted to call to let you know all is well with you. And be that light, be that source of inspiration, be that match that's just going to alight the next match. And like I said, all you have to do is come in close proximity for one match to light another match, and then the other match and the other match. It's simple physics. And we can start to change the energy of our circle, of our outer circle, of the outer bands of the earth. But it starts small. But what does the word say? Never despise small beginnings. I did this with my significant other just now, and I walked into the kitchen to get a cup of coffee, and he was sitting there watching the news, and I just shouted out and I said, hey babe, I love you. And he turned on and he was so surprised, and the smile and the delight on his face was like, oh, I love you too, because it came from out of nowhere. It wasn't predicated upon some good deed that he did, and then I responded and said, oh, I love you too. I just decided I was going to alight him with a high frequency vibration just by giving and sharing love. It's the same thing I'm asking you to do. Let's go light up the world. Let's go light up the world with our superpowers, because our superpowers are there to serve us. All is well with you. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do before your feet hit the ground, all is well with you. Say it, everybody. All is well with me. And you're not asking it because you're the captain of your ship. You're the CEO of you. You're setting the tone. I am declaring, I am decreeing that within the sound of my voice, everyone who listens, all is well with you. Because if you can hear and you have ears to hear, you're still here to do something that you were created to do. I know that everything is here to support you. I am here to support you. I want you to know that I am sending you all so much love, so much encouragement, so much joy, so much faith in knowing that you can move those mountains in front of you regardless of the situation, that you're seeing with your natural eyes, that you're hearing with your natural ears. I want us to put on that cape of supernatural superpowers that are already here, just sitting here, just waiting for you to unlock. All is well with you. You have things to do. Be proactive, not reactive. Take the challenge. Make your list of 10 people that you're going to call this week. And you're not going to ask how they're doing. You're stepping into your superpowers and declaring and decreeing that all is well with them. Do you know that what that's going to do for so many people? That somebody, because listen, one of the things that we all need, right, is sort of like somebody in our corner, somebody just cheering us on. And I want you to be that cheerleader. Let us all be the cheerleaders for humankind. Find your 10 people. Call them. Alight them. Delight them. Be well. Everybody stay safe. I'm sending you so much love from my heart. I love you. I love you. I love you. Be well. All is well with you. All is well with you. All is well with you. We're here thinking of you, praying for you, encouraging you, standing in the gap for you, cheering you on, knowing that all is well with you. Be well, everyone, and stay safe.
I'm Daniel Roberts, originally from the UK, and now I'm living here in Brazil with my lovely wife Patricia. How I came to be living here is a story that I will tell very soon during this video. So during this time of isolation, myself as a pianist, performing musician, of course, have been affected like so many other performing artists in that I've had performances cancelled that I was going to do here in Brazil, as well as in the UK, where I was originally going to be travelling to at the end of March till the end of April. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I did to overcome those hurdles. And my main purpose during this time now, I feel, as a performing musician, is just to keep the musical experience going for people, and that involves doing events online, doing live stream performances. And I feel the past few years, because I've already had experience of doing live streams as well as doing my other work online as a online piano teacher, mentoring pianists, you know, that has really put me in a good position during this time, because I've been doing this stuff already. So I haven't had to adapt too much, but I've got a few stories here that I hope can inspire you who are in the performing arts to really just think outside the box. So there was a time 5 years ago when I was still living in the UK, and then suddenly I got a letter from the landlord of the house that I was renting at the time in London, saying that next month he was planning to sell the house and I had to leave in the next, or after 30 days. So that time was a bit of a panic then, and I didn't know what to do, and I spoke to my then girlfriend, who's my wife now at the time, who's here living in Brazil, and she came up with the idea, why don't I just move to Brazil? And I thought I could do that, but how would that be possible with the work I'm doing in the UK, in London, where I'm from and where I lived at the time, where I was actually teaching people face to face. And then I got the idea from a colleague of mine to start going online with my teaching practice. So this was a very scary time, and a time to adapt and think, as I said already, outside the box and try things that before I may have thought, I'm not sure about that, is that possible? But then I just went for it, and I asked students what they thought about me teaching them online, and most of them, I'm happy to say, agreed to that. So then I moved to Brazil, and fast forward a year after that, I got happily married to my wife Patricia, and I've been here ever since. And before this whole pandemic and world crisis, of course, I've had the opportunity to travel back and forth to the UK a few times each year to visit friends and family. But right now I'm not doing that, and as I said, I cancelled my trip. But I'm so grateful for the technology we have, like Zoom and Skype and all those other video conferencing applications and programs, so we can all keep in touch with each other. And it's of course the second best thing to be in the same room and feeling the presence and the energy of people that you love and have a good connection with. So that is the story of that time I had to adapt to move to Brazil, but then without gloating, it's really put me in a good position to keep going during this time that we're all going through currently now. So another story I have is what I've done over the last 2 months since going into isolation here in Brazil, because I have a couple of family members here who are very vulnerable and that are what they're calling high-risk people. So I have to protect them and my family. Really is just to stay home, be safe, and take all the necessary precautions. So I originally, as I said, was going to travel to the UK at the end of March, and that was to see family and friends who I haven't seen for over 7 months already now. And I was also going to do a couple of performances live there, one with my colleague violinist Hannah Warmer, and one solo piano concert with myself, of course, playing live there. So with the concert with my friend, that was going to take place in London. We'd already sold tickets to an audience, but then I came up with the idea, why don't we just take this online? And I reached out to the people who had already bought tickets and said, you can either have a refund, or if you like, you can watch the concert online, but will take place in a special Facebook group, so then only people who have already purchased tickets can access that. And I'm very happy to say that every person agreed to that, so that was a great thing. So we weren't losing out on giving the concert, and of course the financial side of it as well, which has really helped us during this time, because we've lost some work in other places as well, like other performances, so that has helped a lot with that. And I hope that can inspire you really to think creatively, especially if you're someone creative who does live events with people. Maybe that's a solution for you, to hold an event online but have it in a ticketed way like we did. That's just one way you can do it, so then only people who have invested or purchased the product or service you're offering, they can access that as well. So I'm happy to say that worked. And of course it is a very hard time for musicians, but on the positive side of that as well, now people are staying home more, they're not going out, because of course the live events are cancelled right now, and we can't have big people or big groups of people in a room like a concert hall or the opera houses. So more and more people are actually opening up to the idea of attending online events. And another place that I've been doing them is on stageit.com, that some of you may have heard of, and this is an amazing platform as well for musicians to play and get support from audience people, and I've been really enjoying doing that. And I did actually join that platform over 2 years ago, and it's been growing from there. But like I said, now I'm in a good position to continue doing that. So I really hope that that can encourage you to really focus on the things that you can do right now, however small, or even if you think it's going to take some time, just focus on that, because of course we can't control everything that is happening as well. And earlier today I even read that some orchestras in European countries are starting to move towards performing to a live audience once again, and they've been doing various tests and experiments to see how safe it would actually be for a big group of people like an orchestra, which is usually at least like 60 or more people on the same stage. They've been doing tests where they've been sitting a certain distance away from each other with masks on and testing how far germs can travel and lots of things like that, so they can really determine how safe it is to start allowing small controlled groups of people back into the halls as well. So I'm really happy to hear that they are making the effort to start doing that again. But like I said at the start, my main purpose is to keep the musical experience going for people. And for those of you who are still on the fence about doing stuff online, I just want to encourage you and let you know that there are people out there who are really happy to support what you do, and they're open to trying these new experiences online as well. And now is a great time really to build your list, you know, your audience, so that afterwards then you've got that momentum to grow further and expand what you're doing. I really encourage you, like I said, to think creatively outside the box, think of a solution, and, you know, don't just dismiss an idea straight away, but really think, well, I could do it this way. And you'll be amazed at the support and kindness that people will have for the things you're doing as well. So, you know, I didn't realise until recently how much what I'm doing as a musician can help people. So after the original concerts that was supposed to happen in London, we did that one online, and I'm pleased to say as well that other people who hadn't bought tickets already from other countries, not just in London, they were happy to buy a ticket as well to attend our online concert. And then afterwards people were saying that it was a very nice thing for them to have during this time when they're at home, and, you know, emotions are running high, of course, and people are worried, and we don't really know at all how long this will go on or how long the restrictions are going to stay in place. So I hope that you find that useful and got some inspiration and ideas from that. I'm Daniel Roberts, and my website is www.danielrobertsmusic.com.
Appreciating this moment. My name is Marquesa, and I want to talk. Come on, look me in my eyes. And I know I have these glasses on, so I'm going to take them off for a second. I'm not going to worry about the fact that I can't see without them, because I just want you to hear my heart. I feel you. Right now, this is a crazy time for every single one of us for different reasons. Some of us have lost loved ones in this terrible quarantine COVID situation. Some of us have maybe even lost business because things didn't go as scheduled. Some of us may have lost relationships that became extremely vulnerable during this time. Some of us maybe lost our mind a little bit, thinking, oh my gosh, if this doesn't end, I'm going to scream. I think we've all been there at one moment or another. So if you're in any of those bubbles or situations, I want you to listen to me, because I want to share with you why you should appreciate this moment. I remember in March when things started to change. And ironically, March started off as a really awesome month for me. I was about to travel to Houston to celebrate my 50th birthday for the third. You can do that when you turn 50. And I was especially excited because I had a chance to celebrate with my Houston family. You see, I went to college in Houston, and I have a lot of relatives in Houston, and I wanted to celebrate with them. Plus my mom and my dad, they all came up from Dallas, and it was on. Friends from far and near, friends I hadn't seen in years that I got a chance to reconnect with. It was, wow, an amazing time. When I look at the pictures, it's like I smile inside. And I can't believe how special that was, because if had we planned it just a month later, maybe even a couple of weeks later, it probably would have been canceled. But it happened. Well, since that time, I've experienced so many zigs and zags just like you have. I've experienced, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh my goodness, I miss my normal. And then month one, I can make this fun. Month two, ugh, it's okay, but I'm starting to not like it. Month three, get it. Month four, really? Really? But can I share something with you? Something that I did. I'm going to share actually 3 things I did that resulted in me appreciating this moment over the 4 months. One thing I did was I spent a lot of time self-reflecting. I did, and that can be a scary process. This is where I looked inside and I just met myself. I had a meeting with myself. I had a downright conference with myself. And I said, self, are you really living up to your potential? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? What God meant for you to do? Are you living your purpose-driven life? Now, frankly speaking, I have this conversation with myself all the time. But for some reason, April, May of 2020, it seemed even more important and even more surreal. For a moment there, and you may can relate to this, you were afraid that, what if this virus gets me? What if I wake up tomorrow sick and the next thing I know, I'm not here anymore? If these are my last days, what am I going to do differently? And part of my self-reflection process has certainly happened. But this is how my self-reflection process sort of ended, although it never really ends, is I decided not tomorrow, not next year, not woulda, shoulda, coulda, not someday, but now. I decided to not wait until later to live my now, to live my best now. That's what I decided. So that was number 1, self-reflection. Number 2 was gratitude. My family had a great loss during this time. My beautiful Aunt Margaret unexpectedly died. And yes, it was to COVID. My dear sister, who I've become closer to than I ever have in her 30-something years, she got sick with COVID. And I remember I was speaking in Las Vegas to a COVID-friendly audience in a COVID-friendly situation. And this was in person, and a portion of the audience is virtual. And before I went up on stage, I think it was about 10 or 15 minutes before I had to go up, and I got a text from my sister, and she said, I'm in the hospital because I couldn't breathe and I was so terrified. My heart dropped, and I'm thinking, I got to go on stage soon. How do I handle this? So since I knew I had a little bit of time, and frankly, even if I didn't, I still had to excuse myself because I couldn't focus on my audience if my own family wasn't okay. So I dropped, kind of popped out, dropped what I was holding and popped out in the room and sat on the couch, and I said, is everything okay? And she explained to me, oh, I couldn't breathe and I got nervous and I came to the hospital, and she just started crying. And then I started crying, and I'm thinking, I'm messing up my makeup, but are you okay? And I never felt as close to her as I did in that moment. In that moment, I thought to myself, if something happens to my sister, I don't know if I can survive this. Thank God she was okay. My aunt didn't make it. And a few weeks later, not to COVID, I lost my dear cousin. So there's been quite a bit of loss and quite of almost loss. But the gratitude part is, what will I do differently as I celebrate the life of my dear departed? What lessons did I learn from her, from him? My sister is still here. How can I make sure I love her because I've been given another chance? And how can I appreciate my own time here because I'm okay? Gratitude. And the third final piece is purpose. That's a word that I eat, sleep, and drink, let me tell you. Sometimes as a 50-year-old woman, I get a little sad when I think, wow, I've never been married. I don't have children. I don't know. I don't have that picket fence situation. So am I less than? And then I ask myself in the same breath, but look at my life. For the past 15 years, I've traveled all over the country, speaking to audiences as small as 50 to as many as 5,000. And I've had the chance to shift a lot of mindsets, educate, inspire. Every dream on my dream list, I just check it off and I add another. My life has been surreal. The opportunities, things that maybe as a little girl, I didn't even know to dream of. That's been my life for the last 15 years. And before that 15 years, maybe the previous 15 years, because I've lived in New York almost 30 years, I had the chance of being an associate producer for a major network. I was a topic sales executive in Manhattan for a major company. And my income, my influence, my reach of what I've been able to do is just keeps growing year after year. And although a lot of businesses struggled during this time, my business actually grew significantly. So one of the things I had to learn was my purpose is different from my dear girlfriend's purpose. I think about my best friend, Mal, who I love. We've been best friends since childhood when we were both 2 years old. And Mal is a mother, a grandmother. She is a business owner. She's a brilliant educator. And I just love her heart. And she has her own design firm. I mean, she is amazing. But we have two different lives. And instead of me comparing my life to her being the wife, her being the mother, I had to say, but that's Mal's purpose. This is my purpose. And I don't want to compare my purpose. I don't want to minimize or diminish my purpose. I want to own it. I want to celebrate it. And I want to eat it up, every ounce of it. And what's interesting during this time, my purpose has been shining brighter than ever before in so many different areas of my life. So what do I want you to take away from this? As you do self-reflection, as you show your gratitude to yourself and think about what you're grateful for, as you think about your purpose, I want you to remember it all means appreciating this moment. It's not so bad. No. Mm-mm. I can tell you that I wouldn't have gone this deep with myself if this moment did not happen. And from this day on, my life will never be the same. it will be better because of me and because of everything I've learned and because of the process that I just shared with you. And I know this moment will be better for you. So instead of sitting up in your apartment, I'm going to say apartment because I live in New York City and I have an apartment. So instead of sitting in your apartment and being sad and angry at the world and feeling like, when is this going to end? And all these different things you may be going through, just stop for a second. I want you to pause. And I want you to thank God that you're still here. And I want you to make the most of not only this moment, but every single moment that follows. My name is Marquesa Pettway, and I'm appreciating this moment. Will you join me?
Hi, Ray East here. As I film this, our nation, the United States of America that is going through a time of unprecedented crisis. And the one question that seems to be on top of everyone's mind is, with all the problems that are going on that are so large, that loom so big, how can I be of service? How can I help? Most people, myself included, at times have felt like things are just so big. What can little old me do to be a part of the solution? And I have friends who they're texting me, they're calling me like, Ray, you're a life coach, you're an executive coach, you know how to help people become more helpful. What can I do here? And then also there's the implicit assumption that I'm also an African American, and I've my friends know my story. I've had a lot of the defining pain of my early life came from racism. So the question is, what now shall we do, given that we are in this place of not only a pandemic, not only a quarantine, but also riots going on in the streets and just a lot of hardship going on for a lot of people in the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. So, I want to talk about how we can be resourceful, and I want to inspire everybody to do three things. Everyone can take action, can create wonder, and can believe. And I'm going to talk about how these three things can help all of us who are searching for solutions to seemingly intractable problems, how we can actually create a space where those solutions can arise. Okay? So let me start off by telling you this story about what happened to me this last weekend. I was on a Zoom call with a friend of mine who lives up in New York City, and she and I were both talking about how disheartening and saddening everything that's going on has been, and about institutional racism and the effects on us personally, and just how that's got to be a better way than just violence to respond to this. That there's something that's more helpful. What's how do we help? And yeah, she was just talking about how she was feeling a little bit downcast, but that there was one kind of glimmer of hope that she encountered, because in the greater New York City area in Long Island, there was a march of people who were protesting the horrible treatment and the murder of George Floyd. And amongst the protesters were some policemen who were protesting right along with everybody else. And when the march that they were on, they marched right by the police station, everybody took a knee. And at that time, the policemen took a knee and they knelt down in front of that police station. And the image of that was carried on the news just kind of made tears well up in people's eyes, mine included. Like the idea that something is right here in a world that seems gone so wrong right now. I just today saw on the news again other policemen, I believe it was this time in Santa Cruz, California, who joined protesters and also took the knee in honor of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. And it was so powerful. It just filled me with a sense of wonder. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is a sense of how we can take action, create wonder, and believe in order to start to create the space that takes us in a healthy direction as a nation, internationally, but also just on a way more micro level in our own lives. I also should mention that I saw again on the news today that in Minneapolis, where this whole new wave of concern started very recently here, the Minneapolis police chief, Arradondo, he was being interviewed by a CNN reporter, and when she brought the family of George Floyd in live she had a cell phone, and she said, and it was like a live stream somehow with, I think it was the brother and somebody else who were related to George Floyd, and it was the first time that the police chief had contact with the family of George Floyd. And when he said, "Wait, are you saying that this is the family of George Floyd that is on the live stream right now?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "What do you have to say?" And she stuck the phone in his face to talk with them. And of course, I was like, "What is he going to say? This is wow." And what happened was so powerful. He took off his hat. He's the police chief, and he had his uniform on, but he took off his hat. And he said he was, I actually have notes here so I don't get his word wrong, but he says, he was absolutely devastatingly sorry for their loss. And he said that he would do anything to bring Floyd back, if he could. And it again moved me in a way that was powerful because I was filled with a sense of wonder. And that place of kind of closed in, withdrawn, hurting, that feeling I had moments before was replaced instantly because something shifted in my heart because of the wonder. Internal boundary stones, so to speak, shift in our hearts, and it takes us out of that protective, withdrawn mode into a place where we are open because we see a humble act of service or forgiveness or redemption or something that causes us to go, wait a minute. And all of a sudden, hope starts to flood into our hearts, and we're able to then have a dialogue that was not possible mere moments before. So what is wonder? A great definition of wonder that I love is that wonder is a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration caused by something beautiful and unexpected. And it could happen, as I'm driving in a car, and a beautiful sunset appears all of a sudden, and I'm moved with a sense of wonder. Or it could be policemen protesting along with everybody else in their community, taking the knee. And all of a sudden, I feel a sense of surprise mingled with admiration caused by that beautiful and unexpected act on behalf of those policemen took. Wonder changes the game. So I want to encourage each of you, and I want to encourage myself right now as well, to never feel overwhelmed alone. I mean, it's okay to feel overwhelmed a little bit, but we need to process beyond the overwhelmed feelings and come to a place where we say, you know what, I feel passionate about something, so I'm going to take action, and I'm going to create wonder somehow. I'm going to do something. I'm going to, so to speak, take the knee. I'm going to take my hat off. I'm going to do something, and it's going to look humble, and I'm going to have my eyes focused squarely on something redemptive, something healing, something forgiving. It's going to look something in the neighborhood of those things that's going to create a sense of unexpected delight and surprise and admiration in people. And then, so I'm going to take action, I'm going to create that sense of wonder, and then last but not least, I'm going to believe that what I did was powerful. I'm going to believe that wonder will move internal boundary stones in the hearts of the people around me and create a safe and courageous environment where true dialogue can start. And that's the place where all great solutions start from, as far as I'm concerned. Wonder is the key to creative problem solving. And that's what we need in these unpredictable times. We need a way to solve problems that are extraordinary with solutions that are unpredicted and extraordinary. And that place of surprise and admiration, that's the type of vibe that opens up people's hearts and minds to try new things they never have before, which is exactly what we need. Wonder erases all of the polarization that's tearing our society apart. Wonder brings us to a place where we can dialogue. And it all begins when we decide to take action, create wonder, and believe that the safe and courageous environment that we've created is powerful to create solutions. Now, is wonder all we need for every problem to create a solution to every problem? Of course not. But it's a great place to start. And sometimes in a crisis, it's the only way that an actual or real solution can be come up with, is when people drop their defenses, stop being so withdrawn, stop being so defensive, and engage each other, because a humble act creates the wonder that then levels the playing field and makes our hearts shift, and we all of a sudden are willing to dialogue. I will leave you with this. Don't feel that this national problem that wonder is great for national problems, but without thinking through, like, what does this look like on a very micro level for your own life? What do I mean by that? Like, let's say, do you have a family member, perhaps, or several family members that maybe you've not spoken to for years? There's division in your family. Well, if you wanted to, if you felt like it's the right time and you felt brave and courageous and willing to do something, what if you took action, created wonder, and believed that what you did was powerful? What if you picked up the telephone and said, hey, I know we haven't really spoken to each other for years. I know we don't see eye to eye, but those things that I disagree with, I don't care about them as much as I care about you. I want to start to talk again. That would absolutely create a sense of wonder in your relative's heart, and could open up a space for you all to have a dialogue that could lead to the reunification of a family. That is powerful, and you have the power to do that. Another example, let's say you are a leader. Maybe you have a small business and you have a few people reporting to you. Maybe you're a leader in a big organization and you have many people reporting to you. What if you saw that there were issues between people who worked with you and you, or the leadership or senior management of your organization? What if you as a leader decided, I'm going to take action, create wonder, and then believe? And you just did some type of action on behalf of your people, equivalent to bowing the knee, taking the cap off, doing something humble in the direction of redemption, forgiveness, or whatever it is required for the moment that you come up with. What if you did something like that and released a new wave of people lost in a sense of wonder? I guarantee you, hearts would be opened. Your people would start to have dialogues with you that they never did before, because you would have opened up a safe and courageous environment. So what's my point? Everybody can benefit from doing these three things. And in fact, everybody should start doing these three things, for not just with huge systemic racism, but for everyday problems. If every single person who saw this video started to do these things, literally we could be mere months away from real solutions to huge intractable intractable problems, on a micro level, but also on the macro level, because a safe and courageous environment for dialogue is always going to be the necessary starting place for lasting change. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is AQuilla Ferson, and I am a self-employed singer-songwriter, recording artist, and live performer. I'm extremely grateful to be here to hopefully inspire, motivate, uplift, and empower some of you, if not all of you, since the pandemic started and as we go through these uncertain times. There are a few things that I have implemented into my life to keep it chugging along. Positivity is the key. Mindset is the key. Refreshing our body, mind and soul is the key. And continuing to share and show love to not only others, but to ourselves. The first thing I would say to all of you, every morning, get up, get showered, get dressed, start the day. This is paramount to execute what we are going to do in our day till it's time to go back to sleep. So in the mornings, I drink a nice cool glass of water with fresh lemon. It hydrates me and gets me ready, gets my mind ticking. I also read scriptures from the Bible. If you're not a believer of God, maybe this is a time for you to get connected or to a higher spirit where you can switch off before you reach for your phone, before you jump on social media, before you answer any emails. It's a good time in this period now to get centered, to reach out to others, to show love, appreciation, and encouragement. In the mornings, before anything, after I've had my lovely drink or a green tea, I then read a few scriptures of motivation, inspiring, uplifting, spiritual scriptures that would take me through my day, uplift me, give me some encouragement. You can also meditate 10, 15, 20 minutes, just a way to center yourself each day. It helps before entering the outside world when you're going for your walks. Fitness is also great in the morning. It doesn't have to be an hour. We can all do a little bit each day, whether it is walking or doing a little workout at home in your apartment for 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. This also gets the blood working. One of the other things is that I find that we tend to do in these unprecedented times is that we get trapped in negative thoughts, negative thinking, and we become quite angry easily. What I suggest you do is each day grab yourself a piece of paper, a nice piece of paper, a pen, and list a minimum of 20 to 30 things that you are grateful for. For instance, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that I woke up this morning. I'm grateful that I have the ability to be mobile, that I'm walking. I'm grateful for my parents who are still alive and healthy. I'm grateful that I can, in my case, I'm grateful that I am able to still sing and spread the God-given talent that I was born with. And just list everything. The more you start listing, maybe start at 5. If you can go to 10, great. If you can go to 15, the more you list, the more your energy inside becomes to erupt with things of gratitude, things that we take for granted until we speak it into reality. It's important. My advice to you also is to not watch the news constantly. This can be really a downpour into negativity. Go to a good source, watch it for 10-15 minutes, and then switch off. Continue your day. What I found also in quarantine, I am baking, I'm cooking recipes, whereas before, what I wanted to cook, and I thought, oh, it's a little bit complicated. Now it's not. We have time. So I'm enjoying baking. I'm enjoying new recipes that I thought would be too difficult and time worthy of cooking. I'm meditating. What I would also give some advice to is the power of our words. There are 2 words that we say, and after we say these 2 words, it becomes very powerful. Those 2 words are I am. I am ... are 2 very powerful words. So if you find or catch yourself in your day saying, I'm so tired, I'm so hungry, I'm so ugly, I'm overweight, I'm fat, I am, switch it. Also, regarding what you're going to be listing of what you're grateful for, you can also list these I am. Put a mirror in front of you and say, I am beautiful. I am worthy of greatness. I am a great mother. I am a great father. I am a great daughter. I'm very helpful. I inspire everyone that comes in contact with me. You could just list maybe 20, 30. Read through, read left to right, left to right, left to right, what you've written down, and repeat it over and over. And the practice of repeating will eventually become so automatic to you. You will feel those vibrations of belief, and all these negatives of what you said prior will disappear. And you will start hearing other people. You'll start noticing how many other people around you speak negative. So this is a few things that you can do. So we're meditating. First of all, we're getting up, we're having our shower or bath, and we're getting dressed. Then we are drinking, or before you go and have your shower, take your glass of water and lemon. Enjoy drinking. Then we're meditating. We're doing sports in the morning. Sports doesn't mean anything heavy. It can be just a light workout. It could be walking for half an hour, 1 hour in fresh air. Oxygen, we need that. Don't forget. Be safe out there though. We are also writing down affirmations of things that we are grateful for. We are also listing those 2 strong words. What comes after is paramount. I am. I am. Speak it into the universe. The universe and God is listening to your every word. How you speak about yourself is how you treat yourself on a daily level, on a daily basis. Stay away from negative conversations. Don't welcome it into your life. Leave it outside. There is also a saying from Napoleon Hill. You may have heard it. What the mind can believe and conceive, the mind can achieve. Very powerful words. I am a true believer of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. I'll say that again. Like attracts like. Meaning, what I've already gone over, how we speak, the words that come out of our mouth are extremely powerful. Be mindful. Be mindful and if you trip up, what I say cancel. Cancel. And then I start over again. There's always a reset button. Always a reset. When you find yourself slipping up, cancel and start again. Less news coverage is also good for the mind. What else do I have here? So avoiding news coverage, focusing on the positive. You are alive. Hopefully, you are in great health. Regardless, if you are not in great health, you have life. We are breathing. This should be number one on your gratitude list. I am alive. I am breathing. Maybe we can bend down and touch our toes, tie our shoes. Everything is tied in. I, as well as a global wide musicians, have lost hundreds, millions, billions. In this industry, we've lost out. But there's still some hope as we travel through this pandemic. Try and be kind to each other, but be kind to yourself. Self-care is everything. Everything. It starts with us first. When we can begin to love ourselves, we give off a glow. We give off an aura to those passing or those that we're speaking to on the phone. And it is like a domino effect. When you're feeling good, that ripples out. When you're feeling bad, that also ripples out. So what side of the field would you like to be? The positive side or the negative side? Most definitely the positive. So my uplift to you is also to find the good in this situation. For me, my good is I can spend time with my family, either on Zoom, because they don't live in Germany. So I have more time to communicate with my parents, with my siblings, with my daughter. I have more time to spend with myself. I have more time to bake, to cook. I have more time to read. Use this quiet time. I'm begging you to use this quiet time for things that we have always wanted to do, to achieve. I have a keyboard here. I haven't played keyboard for a long time. I'm starting to play. I never had time before. That's fantastic. So try and find something. There is always, and my parents always said to us as we were growing up, life could always be worse. We've lost dear ones to us. Celebrate their life. Always remember, tomorrow is never, never promised to us. Let's live today the best we can. If you can inspire someone, as I hopefully can inspire you, then it's nothing but goodness. So, a quick reset, a quick summary. Be sure to get up, wash, get dressed. Drink, replenish, eat good food, eat greens, make green juice. I love green juice. Eat those good fats, avocado. We can read books of uplift that inspire. Surround yourself with good conversation, nourishing yourself with goodness, good energy. Most of all, for us to start on that path of positivity, we have to look inside of ourselves and not rely on others to be our uplift. So those of you that are married and in relationships, try and be whole in this time with oneself, and that would radiate out into others around you. It's a ricochet effect. When you feel great, everyone feels great. So then these two words, as I said, are I am. I am is very positive. Powerful words. I am a fantastic mother. I am a great wife. I am the best cook ever. Very positive. I would leave you with some words of wisdom, hopefully. Never forget, you are never alone. You are never alone in times of sadness, because what I have gone over isn't easy. But when you take the first step, you just have to take one step. You can take one step. Take one step, and over the days, hours, weeks, months, while we are in these uncertain times, I pray that you come out of it not only a better person, but also that you've achieved something new, something wonderful. Even if it is more self-love for thyself. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be great? I'm speaking to you from a place of love. My journey in life is to inspire those. Whether or not I'm feeling great on this particular day, I want to inspire you to be a better you in these times. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Talk to those around you. Do your best to find a better communication, a better outlet to express. Write things down. Write things down. Write things down and read them back. You will be amazed after, I would say, 2-3 days. Once you write your affirmations down, everywhere I go, love follows me. Everywhere I go, I give love. Write down, read through, repeat, 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 repeat. I'm sending you much love and encouragement from my home here in Germany to you wherever you are all over the world. My name is AQuilla Ferson, singer-songwriter, recording artist and live performer. AQuilla Ferson signing out. I love you. Kiss.